study was published in Infectious Diseases, and you can see the date there on the second line. That was Tuesday, October 21, 2025, and it was just a day before October 22, the great disappointment for us as a movement in 1844. And also this study was quite, revealing. And in order to understand what happened is you must look at the CDC's advisory panel's recommendation for the immunization on pneumococcal diseases. And thank you. And it says here, infants and children below 5 years receive a 4-dose series of vaccines, either the PCV15 or PCV20 types at 2, 4, 6, and 12 to 15 months. What this means is pneumococcal vaccine 15. The 15 there means that the pneumococcal germs have different antigens. And so they collect these antigens, so to speak, and put it into this vaccine because you do not know with which type you will be confronted. And as time went by, they augmented this to PV20 and even more. And adults above 50 years who have not been vaccinated before or do not have a known history, they do not remember whether they have or have not been vaccinated, they get 1 dose of PC15, PCV20, 21, or PSV23. That is an older vaccine. And now the outcome of this study was, it's really a landmark study because an enormous amount of people were taken into this study. You read here, a landmark population-based study published in BMC Infectious Diseases has shattered the rationale for current pneumococcal conjugate vaccine recommendations. Analyzing outcomes amongst over 2 million adults aged 50 and older in Catalonia, Spain, the authors found that recipients of both the PCV13 and 23 were significantly more likely to be hospitalized for pneumonia and more likely to die from pneumonia-related causes compared to their unvaccinated counterparts, even after adjusting for age, sex comorbidities, and influenza vaccine status. So here in short, you have the result. Those people that had been vaccinated with the PCV13 had, compared to those who had not been vaccinated, had an 83% risk of pneumococcal pneumonia, the pneumonia you actually want to prevent with this vaccine. They had a 55% increase risk of all-cause pneumonia, so not only pneumococcal, because you also have other germs that can cause pneumonia, and you had a 91, an almost doubling of the risk of dying of pneumonia of any sorts that you could contract. Ivan? Why this could happen, or why? The pathology is not out yet. As I read the article, they speculate, why is this the case? I mean, we went out to prevent and we come home with a disaster, isn't it? And they think that if you vaccinate children, something happens with the immune system at the end of your life, that could interfere because, how do you explain this? You cannot explain this. So nobody knows actually what is cooking in the pot. We just observe that something is wrong. The potatoes are being burned. That is what we read here. And then when you take the older, that was a polysaccharide version. It has to do with the composition of the vaccine. This is the older version. It had a 21% risk of pneumococcal pneumonia increase and a 24% increase of all-cause pneumonia, and fortunately no reduction in mortality. I say fortunately because the other one had a severe increase. The new BMC infectious diseases findings therefore carry serious implications. Those who previously received the PCV 13 or 23 may face the same elevated risk of pneumonia and death observed in this large-scale study here in America. And these risks could plausibly persist or even amplify under the expanded, and these are now going to be the newer versions of the vaccines, the 15, 20, and 21. After more than 3 decades of use in adults and universal promotion in children, this evidence calls into question the entire foundation of the pneumococcal vaccine policy and warrants an immediate attention from public health authorities. Now, when you look at the literature, you find that there are some high-quality studies and so-called meta-analysis. Meta-analysis means you take a number of studies together, pool the data, and then extract what you are searching for, has shown that modifiable lifestyle factors such as physical activity decreases your risk for pneumonia, for death and hospitalization. Body weight plays a big role. If your BMI is below 18 and if it is above 30, your on both sides, under and overweight, increases your risk for pneumonia. Obviously, smoking does, and the drinking of alcohol, whereas a bad diet can increase your risk, and a good diet will decrease your risk. And what it brings to my mind is that there was a naturopath in Switzerland by the name of Bircher Benner, and he, in his sanatorium in the Spanish flu, the hotels, they had to quit their services because every bed was needed for sick people, especially soldiers. And Bircher Benner, the naturopath, he took in people with Spanish flu into his sanitarium. He gave them a raw diet. He treated them with water treatments. He had them be out in the sun and breathe fresh air. And whereas the death rate in the hospital was about 20 to 30%, depending where you were, his death rate was calculated at about 2 to 3%. So again, you see lifestyle is far more effective than anything you can just prick into your body. Or as Benjamin Franklin said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So here you have those factors that really matter, and I would like to ask you to consider them for your own best health. Thank you, and a blessed Sabbath to you.